from generation to generation. A legacy forged under the lights. Angels baseball lives on. Welcome to the ToddFox post-game show.
Final out, no filter. The game's over, but we're just getting started. This is the ToddFox postgame show. Your home for raw reactions, real talk, callers, comments, and everything Angels baseball. We're handing out the Golden Stamos. And yeah, somebody's taking home the Nacho Night Award. From the opening rant to your calls, nothing's off limits. The ToddFox postgame show starts right now.
I'm a fox. My name's Todd.
Good morning, everybody. How's it going? It's happy Sunday to you. I hope all is good. It's a special presentation. I wish I had news to say that Arty Moreno was out and it's something breaking like that, but that was something just to get the old fishing line out there to try to bring some people in, because I do have some video that I want to share with you guys and react to. And so it's something that I've never done on here, and I wanted to just, as A-Web says, I'm ready for the Angels to ruin my Sunday. I have some video that I want to play. It's throughout the years of Arty Moreno's reign of terror on you, the Anaheim fan. And I just want to show you the progression of how things have gone from start to finish and give you my reaction on about how much of a tool bag this guy is. And with the fact of the matter of the team being utterly disappointing and embarrassing, losing 15-2 yesterday to the Dodgers, absolutely having nothing going for it, the lies and the gaslighting that has come from this man and the excuses that come from the media is outrageous. I've had it up to here with just the constant, the way that the media outside of Anaheim and Los Angeles basically just say, oh, this guy's a wonderful man. He's got all the right intentions. He's got this, he's got that going for him. He's so smart. The team has let him down. And people always forget the fact that Bill Stoneman was in charge. Tony Reagans took his spot afterwards and did not last very long. He was one of the first black GMs in Major League Baseball for the Angels, and he did a great job under the tutelage of Stoneman. And Reagans actually was keeping the team afloat with Disney executives. Disney, or at least Disney hired, people to take care of the team. And the team was flourishing until Arty started cutting payroll and cutting all the essentials behind the scenes. Felipe says, as a Dodger fan, sell the team. And again, and what's up, Big Drew? A lot of people checking in this morning. I got to show you some video of just how exactly this dumpster fire started and how the fact that he inherited a franchise that literally had the best farm system in all of baseball. And, you don't have to go into history and really look up your information anymore. Just go to ChatGPT if you don't believe me. Go to ChatGPT and cross-reference every season that Arty Moreno has owned the Angels and see if he has taken a serious loss in revenue. I did that, and the numbers will make you feel a little stupid if you believed anything that the narrative from the media has told you over the years. Arty Moreno has not only recouped money every season that he's been owner of the Angels, he has sometimes in some seasons gotten 50% more than he's actually had to pay out with everything. So meaning after all the expenditures, he's making a 50% profit. And we'll get to that in a little bit. So yeah, Wally's saying, I was there last night, bro. I was looking for my brown paper bag. And again, after losing to the Dodgers, it infuriates me. It gets me so hyped up and so upset. So the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to start off with a CBS fluff piece. And this is from the year 2005. So this is literally 2 years into his ownership. As you remember, The Angels were sold in the 2003 season, and he was not able to officially take over until right before the start of the 2004 season. So 2005, this is a fluff piece after he has himself in control, and he's actually spending his own money. So bear with me on the audio. It is very old from 2005, which should date a lot of us because that's 20 years ago. But check this out.
Record in baseball, and their new owner is on a winning streak of his own.
That is a fact. Arty Moreno loves baseball, but it was his purchase of the Anaheim Angels that made baseball history. Moreno is the first Hispanic to own a major league.
First Hispanic to own a major league franchise. Again, that was celebrated. A lot of people said, "Oh, that's a great thing. That's an amazing accomplishment for this humble man from Arizona, a man that came from 13 kids in a household, 13 kid household, one of 13. He's made the American dream. He's a Vietnam veteran, for God's sakes. Why wouldn't you bite into that sandwich? Why wouldn't you be like, I'm rooting for this guy? This guy in SoCal, which is a heavily Hispanic, background, this guy's perfect, right? I thought that. I'm like, hey, you know what? Gene Autry was the man. He brought this team here. Disney carried the torch, got us a World Series. For whatever reason, Disney didn't want it no more. Who else would take over this team? Who better to fit the Hispanic community or the melting pot of SoCal than this man, a self-made, what is it called? Billionaire at that point we were told, which he wasn't. That was a lie too. So let's continue.
Baseball team. He's a guy who doesn't like to talk about himself.
Doesn't like to talk about himself. That guy has one of the biggest egos. False.
But in my exclusive interview, he talks about family, life, and baseball. And for him, heaven is a baseball diamond filled with angels.
Oh, listen to the fluff piece, dude. They are literally on their knees for this guy.
If you hang out with 57-year-old Arty Moreno, it seems as if he's everywhere. Doing lunch with President Bush in Phoenix.
This is going to be the new headwear for the Angels here.
Having a light moment with Angels manager Mike Scioscia in Anaheim. And throwing out the first pitch at opening day with wife Carol by his side.
See, you notice that right there? All the fluff pieces, he's everywhere. He was there. I remember walking the stadium and seeing him around, shaking hands, taking pictures. So I dress up as the clown, right? As Halo Hunk. And I have the makeup on. I give, gifts and wristbands like this one. We give baseballs, stickers, shirts away out of my own pocket, out of the page's own pocket to keep the fans involved, keep the kids having a good experience because the shit team on the field sucks, right? I am doing what he did back in the day. Except he wasn't giving away anything. It was just for his ego. He wanted the fans to say, oh, Mr. Moreno, you're so great. You're the first Hispanic owner. You're so awesome. Yes, you're going to bring a winner here. And everyone was just so happy to see him. And you saw it in the video. Kids are taking pictures with him. Nobody was ashamed. You think that bastard would do that today? Hell no, right? He'd be heckled out of his own stadium. So check this out right here. This is from the same fluff piece. I cut it up. We're reacting to it. Check this out.
The Latino fans feel a special connection to Moreno.
He's the first owner in major leagues to be Latino, and that's an inspiration for all the Latinos.
He's done a good job.
Everybody's real happy with the club.
And what's not to like?
Yeah, what's not to like? So at the time, everyone was like, this guy is the first Hispanic owner. He's doing great. You know what? He really makes us all feel so proud. He's such a great guy. Like everyone was biting into it, like loving it. And people were proud, and they should have been back then, because again, if you're first generation, second generation coming over here to SoCal, and I have a lot of friends that were, a man like this who looks self-made, he's living the American dream. Like that's what all kinds of people that come to the United States want to do. They want to live the American dream. They want to be establish themselves and know that what they started has a finish and an objective, and an accomplishment all rolled into one. And it looked like at the time Arty Moreno was doing that. And I'm going to get to that preceded, I can't even say the name. Are you going to a protest on 23rd? The 23rd is definitely a protest day that I will attend. And I hope a lot of you come out there. We need to show this guy what's up. And it's going to start at Golden Road, by the way, around 4. So here's the thing. I appreciate that, Wally. Here's the thing right here. So again, at this point, the fans are all about it. The fans are all on, and I probably was at this time as well. So let's continue.
As owner of the Angels, Arty Moreno has lowered prices on tickets, food, and beer. Angels baseball is more affordable for families.
You see that? Even back then, it's more affordable, lowering ticket prices and stuff like that as he raised the payroll.
But while he's saving families money, he's been spending a lot of his own. Last winter, Moreno pumped out some $146 million to buy 4 key players for the Angels, including Vladimir Guerrero and Bartolo Colon. And the investment seems to be paying off. The Angels are #1 in their league. When I throw down...
So in 2005, they spent money, $141 million or $146 million. I looked that up again on ChatGPT and got a Forbes related article that broke down the Angels' expenditures and revenue after all the bills were paid and the income that Arty Moreno made. After everything, every last penny was spent on whatever they owed for that season, the Angels recouped $45 million. That is before TV contracts. So you mean to tell me that 3.4 million fans came to see the Angels in 2005? He had to spend $146 million on the payroll, which did not, it took from the bottom line, but the bottom line, you're still not in the red. You're in the black. You're making money. He made money after paying all his workers, all the staff, the payroll, and everything. He recouped $45 million. You see, Disney lied to us as well. Disney just did not want the burden of running a team. Disney was claiming the same thing. We lost $10 million 2 years in a row, including the 2001 year and the 2002 series. How in the world can you lose on a World Series championship team money? You just can't. They made enough money. That's before TV revenue. The TV contracts we'll talk about here in a minute. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. So let's continue.
Some baseball cards. This baseball junkie is quick to jump in. Vlad.
The best.
Escobar.
Could be a key.
Molina.
Molina is a Gold Glove.
You like playing cards like this?
I like those.
Let's see in your eyes.
So again, Moreno says, or they fluff him up saying he is a baseball junkie. Really? Do you think he knows his baseball? How about the time when he said, oh, we can't afford Garrett Cole, who turned into a wonderful pitcher, and we don't want to risk it on a pitcher, so let's get the second best player on the board, Anthony Rendon. How did that work for you? How about getting a drug addict who was on rehab and needed a person to be around him at all times in Hamilton, and he thought it was too expensive to spend for a life coach and an accountability buddy to follow Hamilton around like he was in Texas when he was an MVP, although he got off the drugs. So when he came here to Anaheim, he got back on the drugs because Eric Kay was probably serving him up some pills before we even knew about it, or somebody else was. It's little things when you cut corners, you don't give a shit, and you're just trying to make more money. You cut the things that made the team good. You cut the things that made the team viable and a well-oiled machine. At this point, again, he's feasting off of what Disney left him. But no, we'll free. Because again, if I'm going to interview a guy like this, I'm going to wait 5 years to see what he does as an owner, unless he wins a championship before that. Otherwise, why are you fluffing him so much? Other than just to say, hey, he's a self-made guy, this, and that, which is fine. But here we go. Let's play some more.
You're very alive and happy to be here. And
Even without my glasses?
Even I could see it through your glasses. Even I could see that you're excited to be here. And obviously,
Now, why wouldn't you be excited being here?
Yeah. Well, tell me what it is you love. Describe to me what it is that fills your heart up with joy.
George Will says it best. Spring's coming and the fresh cut grass, you can smell the grass and there's an excitement. It's part of life.
If you were looking back on your life and you were looking back at that kid who started out in Tucson, little Arty Moreno, what was he like?
I guess a dreamer. You know, I think every young baseball fan dreams about being up to bat with 2 outs and bases loaded and you want to hit a home run.
And did that?
You caught that? You caught that? I bet you didn't. But if you did, you follow the show. He literally said, every kid dreams about being up to bat and hitting a home run. What do the Angels do worse than anybody in the league? And that leads to a ton of strikeouts, non-contact, no runs being scored. Again, this team has scored 8 runs in 6 games. The Angels currently. Swinging for the fences and depending on home runs has been a problem for the Angels for a long time. This jackass right here.
Bases loaded and you want to hit a home run.
That's all he cares about. Hit a home run. So again, when we say on this show and other podcasts say, hey, where does the problem start? It's always at the top. It's always from this guy.
It's me. Hi. I'm the problem. It's I'm the problem. It's me. Hi. I'm the problem.
It is him. So let's continue.
Well, I think, you know, we still have another part to this story. We're playing baseball. I'm sort of like on first base. Got to get me home.
And so that little boy who once looked out the window and dreamed.
So he just said bases loaded and he wants to hit a home run. Then he says, I'm at first base and we just got to get him home. So we got to get him home. It's not about the fans. It's about getting him a World Series. And so this is a guy who doesn't like talking about himself, but he just quoted himself as saying, I need to get home from first base, meaning that's just a start. I need to get home. I need to get my flowers. I need to be the World Series champion.
Now looks out to this field of dreams and sees challenge and promise and majesty once again.
I'm Arty Moreno. Merry Christmas.
Oh, this Merry Christmas clip here just goes to show you how much he loves Christmas in June, and he wants to bring his special memories to you and I. Ooh, can't wait to get those sweater and the mittens, the free stuff on Christmas in June. It's coming right around the corner, people.
Happy holidays to everyone out here in Orange County. My best childhood memory was I come from a family of 11 kids. There was 13 of us, and every holiday we'd all be together. See a lot of my cousins, my both grandparents, and grandma, grandpa. But it was a very happy time of the year for all of us. Merry Christmas.
Now listen to him right here. This is in 2014. The drug addict himself and child beater, as it's been confirmed, Hamilton, is at bat as he beat his kid not too long ago and got arrested for that. Shining moment for him. Let's talk about the broadcast here involving our former broadcaster, which it kind of missed now compared to the douchebags we have in the booth. But check this out and listen to how Arty describes the Angels-Dodgers game. 14, they have a good record. You got Albert Pujols on the team. You have Eric Ibar. You have Howie Kendrick. You have some pretty good pitching, C.J. Wilson. It's the last time the team made the playoffs. You have Mike Trout on the team as a youngster. The team looks pretty good at that point, but what is he talking about the entire time? The fans in the stands. The previous couple years, they were injury plagued and they did not do good in August and September. But this game's in August and you got a full house. And all he cares, and he doesn't care that there's a sea of blue in the stand. He doesn't care because at the end of the day, does it really matter if the fans in the stands are wearing red or blue? No. What matters to him is green, the color green. He doesn't see what me and you see. He sees what's in their pockets, what's on their debit card, what potentially can be in their terminal at Anaheim Stadium. That's all he cares about. That's all he's ever cared about. The whole thing is, if he gets to a World Series, it's vanity for him. You remember, I should have loaded up the pictures of him when they won the divisions, whether it was in 05, 07, 09, or even in 14, when they're clinching a playoff spot and dumbass is down there getting champagne poured on him. There's very few, if not any, owners I know in baseball that indulge in that kind of behavior, unless the team is holding an American League championship trophy or a World Series trophy. You never see the owners come down there on a playoff clinching thing. Now, do you see the managers get doused with alcohol? Yes. Do you see the players dousing themselves with alcohol and indulging in behavior? Yes. But that was the first time I saw an owner from baseball come down there and was front and center with goggles on and trying to be one of the guys, lisping his way through the dugout going, "This is greatest moment." So I don't understand it. I never understood the love for it. I never understood his celebrations. But let's continue.
That's me holding the sign.
Now, this right here is a fan, and this is a different thing. We're going to fast forward. This is to right when the Angels were announcing that probably, maybe there's a chance that Arty Moreno sells. Listen to how this fan talks about his little fan man cave, and then talks about his frustrations.
And they ended up making a baseball card of it, so I'm on a baseball card with Trout.
This Orange County dad has loved his hometown team for as long as he can remember. So you can bet Rob Brahm has plenty to say about the Anaheim team's possible sale by Angels owner Arty Moreno.
I'm actually pretty elated about it because I've felt for a long time that Arty Moreno's kind of disrespected Orange County because, you know.
Good point. You think he's kind of disrespected Orange County? He literally drew the line south and said, hey, this area of land that's always been called Orange County, just this circle right here between the 5 and the 57 is literally Los Angeles. Like literally Los Angeles. It's not Anaheim, it's Los Angeles. So this guy's spot on.
I'm a lifelong Orange County resident, and by changing the name Los Angeles, that's why I'm wearing this Anaheim jersey.
That was
See, and again, he's wearing a very rare jersey. It says Anaheim because it is Anaheim. It's not Los Angeles. If you want to say, well, the Angels have roots in Los Angeles, yes, they played in Los Angeles, but they were called Los Angeles when they played in the county of Los Angeles. They didn't get called Anaheim when they were played in the county of Los Angeles. When they played at Dodger Stadium before they moved to Anaheim Stadium, they were the Los Angeles Angels. When they moved to Anaheim, Gene Autry quickly changed the name to the Anaheim Angels. I mean, what's there not to understand about that? But we continue.
dues and tickets.
Too bad Gene Autry doesn't have kids. We'd love to have him back and another championship. It's been over 20 years, and poor Arty, he just couldn't do it.
Now, I agreed with everything he said until poor Arty. That's bullshit. Again, but this guy's been getting fluffed by Arty Moreno for 40 years. But at least he said it's time for a change, right?
So, new blood, maybe.
Okay,
Our
new
big
blood.
news
Maybe.
from the Angels today in baseball.
And this was a slap in the face. As soon as we got the idea that, yes, the Angels are going to sell. Yes, they are on the table. Yes, they had serious bidders at the time. People willing to pay up to $3.5 billion, which was going to be the highest for any franchise at the time. At this point, in 2014, I think I have it right here. If I pull it up right here, you can see it right here. Or actually the revenue in 2025. Now, this is coming from a team that did not win last year, right? 2025. The payroll right here, it says $410 million in total team revenue. Forbes estimate with adjustments. The player payroll was anywhere from $221 million to $239 million, right? This is not with 3 million fans. So again, the money they spent total was 220, revenue 410. And they didn't have a TV contract last year. And they still made 47% profit. So this motherfucker was lying from the start. from the start. And he continues to lie. So again, this came right after this little clip here came right after he decided to drop the ball on everybody. When everybody got excited and was like, yes, it's finally going to get done. Then this happened.
Baseball, the Moreno family is ending the exploratory process to sell the team. And listen to this, will continue ownership throughout the 2023 season and beyond. You may recall back in August when owner Arty Moreno stated his intention to sell the Halos. Then shortly after that, baseball gave indications that the team could possibly have new ownership in place prior to the beginning of the 2023 season. Halt the presses. Today, Moreno did a 180 saying, quote, during this process, it became clear that we have unfinished business and we feel we can make a positive impact on the future of the team and the fan experience. This offseason was committed to a franchise record player payroll, and we still want to accomplish our goal of bringing a World Series championship back to our fans. Well, end quote there. Fans have...
Yeah, right. We have an opportunity to bring a World Series unfinished business with his little lisp. How did that go, Angel fans? So here's our good friend right here, Lee Hacksaw Hamilton. This is from 2 years ago. This is 2 years ago, him stating the obvious on opening day. Listen to his take. And this is why we have him on the show. Lee Hacksaw is a legend in the LA/Anaheim/San Diego markets as a reporter. Check out what he says about our Angels because it's spot on.
The sports website, did a big fans survey of Angel fans. 90% think Moreno can't operate the franchise. 95% of them want Moreno to sell the team. 75% donate confidence in the general manager of the organization. Boy, that's a bad set of statistics. We haven't seen the first pitch. And now Mike Trout's gone public. He met and says, I want to stay an Angel. I want you to sign one of these marquee free agents that's still out there. And by the way, you still have Ohtani's money that you've never spent. I've never seen an environment heading towards opening day as bad as the Angels have become.
And that sucks. And that sucks because it's true. Again, you had all that money supposedly saved by not spending on Shohei Ohtani, and you don't put any of it back into the team. You just recoup. You just recoup and lower the payroll, lower the standards, and then come up with the strategy of, well, top priorities are not winning for the Angels. The top priorities for the Angels are just playing and excited and showing off the fans fireworks and stuff like that. That's all they care about. They don't care about winning. Who cares about winning, right? It is what it is, right? So let's hear what Kevin Pillar, a former Angel retired baseball player, now says about the Angel organization. This was just 2 years ago.
It's true. Yusei Kikuchi told Japanese reporters after his last start he exited due to cramping because the weight room has no AC. He always does his warm-up drenched in sweat. He wanted them to fix it. Team never did.
I believe it. I was there. The AC was working there, but the inner workings of like the clubhouse, the weight room, the hot tub always had problems too. Arty definitely needs to spend some money and fix that internal workings of the clubhouse, the weight room, the locker room. I mean, it's a big selling point to get players, and the Angels is very, very far behind from a lot of places I've been.
So he didn't say just they were behind. He emphatically said they're very, very behind on things in general when it comes to the Angels, as far as like weightlifting, stuff like that. They don't have the amenities. Again, if you're going to be on vacation and you say, okay, we're going to stay close to the theme park or the city that I want to visit, and you have your family with you, you look through the hotels. You don't say, I'm going to fly to, let's say, New York, or I'm going to fly to Miami, or I'm going to fly to Orlando to see Disney World, but I'm going to stay at a Motel 6. If you're going to fly to Orlando in a big market to see something big like Disney World, you're not going to pick the cheapest hotel. I mean, unless you're on a super budget, but I don't know why you would do that. But you would want to stay at least a decent to nice to maybe even expensive hotel to give your family and yourself the best comforts, the best food, the best, not having to worry about getting pickpocketed, the whole thing, right? So players are the same way when they come to an organization. I want to go somewhere where my family's going to enjoy it, where we're going to be able to find a nice place. If I'm going to settle down for a long-term thing, I want to know that my health is going to be taken into consideration. I want to know that we have the best chance for winning. You look for the best amenities before you sign that paperwork or make that purchase on your card. And players won't do that if they see that everything's shit. And so when you see stuff like this, it's not a secret no more. Everybody knows because of social media and also podcasts. Now the inner workings. You're a laughing stock. We have rats in the goddamn stadium. So Master Splinter, I mean, we don't even have the Ninja Turtles. We just have Master Splinter parading around the stadium eating the nachos and hot dogs. You got all kinds of stuff. You have the worst training facilities. They're finally spending money on what the spring training facilities, $25 million. It sounds like a lot, but it's really not when compared to what this team makes in revenue. But that was way overdue. Now let's check out the credit to Ben Maller right here on one of his shorts. Check him out on Fox Sports. He usually talks Dodgers, but I can't argue his Angels bashing. Check this out.
How do you interpret Arty Moreno, the owner? This guy owns the team, saying that the Angel fans don't care much about winning. It's not one of their top 5 priorities. So the word I wrote down is insulting with a capital I. It's obviously insulting. It's essentially, you people will show up as long as we have fireworks and bobbleheads and cinnamon rolls. You're going to show up.
Ain't that the truth? Because when we do the post-game show, I'm always told, why do you go? I say 2 reasons, none of which are in Arty Moreno's top 5 priority. The 2 reasons for me is the love of the game and the love of my team. And then if a close third to the 2 that I just stated is the fan experience, being with the fans, not the fan experience of being safe, but being with the fans, being able to sit next to somebody or someone. Like when I went to the last Angel game that they won, which is like myriads ago, when the Angels got the win and closed it out, there was a bunch of random people behind me. I got up out of my chair, ran by the Modelo thing, and was high-fiving strangers, and that to me is what baseball is all about. Everyone on the same team, giving bro hugs, high-fiving, cheering beers after a win, saying fuck yeah, and little kids high-fiving each other and getting happy. Families all happy with smiles walking down the turnstile. You're not going to win every game. But when you have a winning club, you do see that a lot more often than you see the sad faces, the droopy faces, the walking out, the stuff like that. So that's what I play off of that. But he's making valid points. Check this one out.
Okay, and we'll give out bats and the batting helmets, and you dummies will show up no matter what. So why should I spend any money? It's not a priority. You got to spend money to win. Why would I spend money? That's essentially what he's saying. He's saying, hey, you know what? You can go down to Disneyland, and you can see the Dumbo ride, or you can come to the Big A and look at our fans. They're all a bunch of Dumbos.
Baseball diamond.
You believe that? Oops, let me go back over here. You believe that, though? That we're a bunch of Dumbos? Because I think so. I think so if we're like that. But check this out, some more.
People will show up as long as we have fireworks and bobbleheads.
Wait, go over here.
And the batting helmets, and why would I spend money?
Yeah, why would you?
Dumbo. Capital D Dumbo. That's what he's saying. And that's what it sounds like. Now, Arty mentioned a survey that was done in which
I didn't get a survey,
did you?
This is the
product of market research. They asked Angel fans, he claims, do you want to win? What's your priorities? And they didn't name winning. So people started asking questions like, well, where's this survey? Nobody's ever seen the survey. Where is it? Was it conducted in a parking lot next to the Big A? Was it done on the back of a cocktail napkin at downtown Disney somewhere? I don't know. So Arty Moreno testing the water. That's the way I look at this. Arty Moreno testing the water. What does that mean?
Yeah, check this out. Because not only is Ben Maller saying it, I've said it. I've said this. And he wants to know how far he could push it. So check this out. Ben Maller's just repeating the same shit I've told you on this podcast for the last 2 years.
It means that this is a dog whistle. A dog whistle from the Angels owner, plain and simple. There's really no other way to interpret it. He's daring you as a fan to boycott. He doesn't think you have the balls to do it. That's what this is about. When the owner openly says that winning is not a priority, Obviously, it's expensive to win. He's essentially saying, if you don't revolt, if you don't push back on this, I'm just going to continue to pocket the revenue, and that's that. It's corporate gaslighting is what it is. But there's really nice palm trees and those big helmets outside the stadium, so that's pretty cool. It's like, but come on. This is SoCal. You're all laid back. You don't care about winning and all that stuff. And to think that this is – you got one side 40 miles away at Dodger Stadium where they'll gouge their fans, but they win. Right? Dodger fans are getting gouged. And then Arty Moreno's like, well, we want cheaper tickets. All right, we got cheaper tickets. Team blows. Team's an embarrassment. It's like a AAA team, Pacific Coast League team wearing big league logos. It's ridiculous.
I mean, is he wrong? Is he wrong? He's not. He's not wrong whatsoever. And we've said it. We've talked about it. And that's that. You and I and the Halo honks and everybody else that loves the Angels and baseball fans outside of Anaheim / Los Angeles are being gaslit by a guy who, over the last few years, people have seen him for what he really is. And they have rejected the fact that he's woe is me and you know, a Latino just trying to make it in Los Angeles / Anaheim and the United States. That goodwill ended 20 years ago. People have seen the corporate greed from this idiot. And again, I brought it up. You can do the research if you want. Go to ChatGPT and put in year by year the revenue to money spent that the Anaheim Angels have recouped under Arty Moreno, starting from 2004, because 2003 didn't count, all the way till now. He has not lost money one season. Not one season. 2020 doesn't count because we're talking about 162, no interruptions, stuff like that. But no season has he lost money. And because the 2020 season happened, the revenue sharing covered the losses. So you can't count that year. But just look it up. He has recouped several hundreds of millions, if not billions by now, of dollars since owning this team. What has he done for me and you? And again, spending on stupid players for payroll just to make it look like a polished turd has done nothing for me and you. 10 years of losing. And again, like Ben Maller says, all he cares about is what he thinks we care about. And that is his dream of 2007 or the 2005 interview that I played in the very beginning of the video, where he says, I got to hit that home run. Every kid dreams of hitting that home run. Well, that's why we strike out so much. Your mentality. The fact that back in the day, he wanted to make things affordable and safe and for the fans and not really care about what's on the field. 2014 was an anomaly as things just fell into place for him. But before that, he was riding the coattails of Disney. I'll keep saying it. And then leading all the way up to now, he doesn't care about winning. His mindset has changed. It's all about recouping as much money as possible, because at the end of the day, if he's not going to hold a World Series championship and get all the vanity that he wanted when he was going into the dugout, celebrating with our fans that are our players that we love so much, and making himself a poster boy for the Angels' success, instead of being like every other owner and celebrate when you actually win something, win a chip. He was there trying to be in front of you, in front of me, in front of calling all Angels for years, the intro at Anaheim Stadium, because that's what he wants. He wants the accolades. He wants the vanity. He wants to be held. He wants a statue at Anaheim Stadium. At some point, he will get one. And at some point, I hope that people throw shit at it and put, squeeze mustard packets on it, birds crap on it. It doesn't deserve the same respect that, hell, even Mickey Mouse deserves with his statue at the stadium, or the great Gene Autry. This guy's been a fraud and a loser since day one. He literally played the Hispanic family or his Hispanic family and the Latino culture here in SoCal because they all thought that this was their guy. And me not being Hispanic, I felt great for the guy because I'm like, that's what you need. You need more, instead of good old boys running the league, you need more diversity. And that's great. I'm for that. As long as, I don't care who owns the team, as long as they know how to do it. It doesn't matter if you're green and alien. It doesn't matter. As long as you're doing what's best for the fans, best for the community, best for your organization in general. It's got to be all one. It just all of them together. It can't be just one, which is best for you. And that's where a lot of owners in baseball and in basketball as well have to just get out. They have to cleanse. Like, at least in the NFL, you could probably spot like 3 or 4 owners that need to go. The rest of them want to be competitive because there's that ceiling and floor with a salary cap, so they're forced to spend. You don't see teams down for very long in the NFL. Same thing with the NHL. Baseball and basketball need to fix that. There's too many shitty owners in both leagues, especially in baseball. So I guess my final thoughts on this reaction video is I'm finally happy to see that the national media, the local media, and fans themselves are speaking out. Now, we have an awesome opportunity, and I'm going to put this out there. This isn't my revolt. If you want to see who's running this sell the team Arty thing, look it up. It's not me, and it's not anybody here at the Halos in the infield. We have zero to do with that. Will I support it if it's big? Yes. Have I been asked to? No. And that's kind of a slap in the face because 2 or 3 years ago, we were trying to lead a charge to do this. And it got nowhere. It didn't get off the ground. Maybe it's because we weren't that big. But now that we're bigger, it's like, I'm just being honest with you. If you ask me, I would go and be in full support. Now, I'm going to be there to see how it is first before I interact with anything, before I do anything to support it. Because I want to see, how mad is the Angels fan base? Are we pissed off enough to make our presence known? Or are we just going to be all about talk and all about bullshit and say, oh, I hate the owner, I hate this organization, it's an embarrassment, but then not do nothing? Are we going to be like the several fans that I know that have left this show and other podcasts and left the team in general high and dry because they're tired of losing, which is fine, but they go and they follow her, meaning Shohei, Mr. Liar, Mr. I need an interpreter, which you don't. You talk perfect English, which you probably gambled. They follow him up the 5. And they go for that guy or her. And they go for everything else that's going on with that outrageously overspending team. But can you blame them? You can. I choose to do both. I kind of just say, hey, whatever. Get the hell out of here. You must not have been a real fan either. But my point being is, do we have enough people to support the cause? Is that cause going to show? Because, listen, a lot of people say, oh, don't go to the games. Oakland stayed in Oakland for nearly 20 years with attendance under 10,000 on the nightly, sometimes as low as 4,000. They were still getting revenue checks from the league. Not going to games is not going to do it. Going to games with paper bags, getting them in the stadium because they'll look for them. We tried it. We tried to have a paper bag night. That didn't go over well. They won't let you walk through the concourse with paper bags on your head because it's a safety reason. But if you sit in your seat, they can't tell you shit. If you show up and you protest in front of the big hats, they can tell you to get off the concrete and just go to where the parking lot is, where the hot dog vendors are. You could do that. But the point is, the more times that you do that, the more times that you're on Catella or Golden Road, or you're going on podcasts, or you're calling the radio station, or you're calling your local representative, because that works too. Voice your frustrations. Show your frustrations. Because that's the only way that's going to get to Arty Moreno. Not coming to games isn't going to do it. Because other people will take your place. Other teams' fans will take your place. Trust me. Too many people are under the narrative that that's a beautiful ballpark and a great place to go. It's got such a reputation that if me and you stop going tomorrow, 3 or 4 more of us will show up. It just happens. So all this thinking that we're going to make a difference by not showing up doesn't do it. You literally need to go voice your opinion, show the signs, support the cause, fly the banners, and talk to reporters. TMZ Sports would love to get the voice of the fans. Call them up. Share their stuff or share your stuff. Be pissed off because you know how many reporters go from all over the world, especially a great time would have been if right now when the Dodgers are in town and you have reporters that don't have media credentials for the stadium, but they'll take video under the hats or in the parking lot, talk shit right there. If they grab you and say, hey, how's your fan experience? Tell them it sucks. We suck. Their owner sucks. Sell the team. Do the chants in the stands. The more you embarrass this guy, the only thing he cares about is his ego and legacy. That's all he cares about. He wants to go down as one of the most richest Hispanics, the first owner in Major League Baseball that's Hispanic. He wants to go down as a winner, which he's lost that one, but he also wants to go down as somebody respected, which he can't get. And he's so frustrated, he can't walk around his own ballpark. He owns that shit. We're visiting, and he can't walk around and shake your hand or mine because he's too much of an embarrassment, and too many people hate his ass. I got the privilege in 2020 to yell at him we need more pitching when we were in spring training, or 2021. That's the last time I've seen him walk around with the fans. 5 years ago. Otherwise, you see clips of him walking on the field underneath the stadium because he can't go through the stands in spring training. And the only other pictures or video we get is him sitting up in his king's throne up there because he can't walk the concourse. He needs security wherever he goes because he knows he's going to get trolled. That's the only way we get to his ass. The only way. So let's go through some comments. Grillmaster says, I'm going to become a Padres fan. I love everybody here, but I can't be a diehard Angels fan. I've been. I can't support you doing that, Grillmaster, because you're one of the first ones. Fire Suzuki and the hitting coaches. Also GM gang right there. Braves versus Dodgers NLCS. Who cares? Keeping the Ohtani money was so hurtful for me. Exactly. But yet he said losing money, he's a fucking loser. He's not. Also, Arty did good from 2004 to 2008. He's lost his touch. That's because it was all Disney guys behind the scenes, Skull Kid. It was guys like Tim Mead. It was guys like Bill Stoneman and Tony Regans. The illegal alien fool says there will be a blackout in 2000 or a lockout in 2027 that will last 18 months. If it does, that's going to kill Moreno. I live in the city of Pico, and I remember heavily being celebrating for a Mexican American and the first owner in the MLB to be Latino. Unfortunately for the community, it's become a flip coin of a disaster. Also, can you play the song from your Not Dying for Israel playlist? I don't know what that means, and that's probably someone's woke as fuck trying to get this. I don't know why. It's one of those things where I just did a Ron Burgundy, where it's just in front of me and I read it. Skull Kid says Anthony Rendon and Josh Hamilton was the worst signing in Angels history. Also, Strange says bases loaded and you want to hit a grand slam, not a home run. Laugh out loud. That was a red flag. Nick Tate says Brady Anderson hasn't done anything for us either. Truly pathetic. Tamir 20 says, I'm not going to lie. This is the first time I've ever heard Arty talk. Todd, you got him spot on. Exactly. He's not like this. Complete hypocrisy and ineptitude. Skull Kid says, I miss Rex Hudler and Steve Physiok. Me too. This is complete. I already got that. Jonathan says, shout out to Angels boycott for putting together the opportunity to fight back against this organization. And that's what you have to do. That's what you have to sign up for. It's not us. Look up that dude at Angels boycott. We don't deserve this as fans. It's too hard to root for the Halos now. Also, but he's a minority, Tyler says. Skull Kid says he disrespected by putting LA Angels on Anaheim Angels. Also, L says Arty Moreno is like the greedy uncle that takes Shasta Cola instead of Coca-Cola to a carne asada. Oh, that's awesome because it's so true. It is so true. I love that comment. Facts. Also, Strange says, I have roots in the OC knowing I'm from LA and the Halos ain't LA to me. They will always be California or Anaheim Angels, period. Exactly. Angels are the HIV of baseball. Angels are the New York Jets of baseball. Demetrio says nobody wants to play here and nobody wants to contact it. Also, L checks in with, as a Dodger fan, I remember we went through the same thing during the Frank McCourt era and the Paul D. Podesta as GM. You did, but man, oh man, you guys came out out of it good. I mean, since then, you guys are great. Demetrio says, I love Ben Maller. Also, he keeps it real. Fuzzy also bashed the Angels too, Todd. I don't know who Fuzzy is. You got to give me a name on that one. Also, Tyler says we don't have the balls to do what Marcia's hammer has well. Also, Jesus says Big Ben tells it like it is. Exactly. Tamir 20 says that's why we need to stop going to Angel Stadium, period. But too many people make excuses why you can't stop going. Again, I believe it's good and bad. I mean, if you stop going, someone else will go. I think you need to go with a objective, which is to have signs, paper bags, chanting "sell the team." I mean, we see these idiots go there spending so much energy and their voice to try to get people to do a stupid fucking wave at the worst time. It's like you're supposed to do the wave when the Angels are up to bat. They do it when the Angels are pitching. So you're distracting the pitching and the players instead of distracting the opponent. So our fans are dumb when it comes to that. So instead of wasting all your time, energy, and emotion on a stupid-ass wave, why don't you use it where it's good, and that is chanting "sell the team." Yes, my hat does says anals. Memo says the man that got away with the indictment a few years back, even though he got caught with the congressman, he washed his hands of it. Yes, he did. And we were so close that year to be free from the shit show. And that's the video that I was showing the fact that we were almost ready to sell. So with that being said, I had to go on here. I'm so upset, so frustrated. There's nothing there's nothing that makes me more upset than losing to the Dodgers. And last night's game was an abomination on thousands of levels. And it's just truly pathetic to see where this team is. The fact that, they don't, again, we're harping on the pitching. And yes, you gave up 15 runs, but that game was really close until Soriano lost it. But how many other games have we watched where the team gives up 3 or 4 runs and can't score 1, or they scored 2? They've averaged 2 runs the last 6 games. So they have 8 runs in 6 games, being shut out once. So I don't know. You tell me. It's a clusterfuck right now, and it's all because of Arty Moreno. So I had to come on here. Jay Cano says, sorry I missed it, but did you go into his joke cronies, friends, Carpino and Cool? No, but those guys are just about the same. Good point right there, Jay Cano. I mean, those guys literally are part of the problem too. They're his cronies. Strange says, going back to the Big A, you'll have a goody environment and affordability. Going to the stupid Doyer Stadium, good chance you'll come home with herpes or beaten down. Memo says, love you, Fox. Keep up the good fight. We're all Angels fans here are right with you. I appreciate that. Fuzzy is a YouTuber that talks about baseball, and he's a fan of the Cleveland, the Ohio shit fucks. Rally says, so myopic, just myopic. It's myopic of 1,000%. Oh, man. But hey, listen, I'll be on here after the post-game show to probably talk about another loss and a Dodgers sweep. And then we'll try to get into, I'll get some more information about about what's going to happen, hopefully, with the protest, and we'll see where that goes. So I thank everybody for coming on and putting up with me on a Sunday morning, still Sunday morning, actually. We're about an hour or so away from first pitch. And yeah, we'll see what happens there. I'm predicting a loss. Like, I'm thinking 8-1 today, 8-1. So with that being said, everybody, I'll talk to you guys later, and hopefully we can get this fight to a next level and get Moreno out of here. I'm sick of it. I want light at the end of the tunnel, and there still is none. Later.